Cathy Lindsay has been acting as a family caregiver for her parents for a little over a year now.
My father has recently been diagnosed with dementia. He's just starting out. My mom has arthritis quite bad. She can no longer drive. So I have been having to take time off from work to transport them to doctor's appointments or any other facilities they need.
Lindsay says when her father was diagnosed, the doctor was not helpful in pointing them to valuable resources.
They told us what his diagnosis was and the drug they were going to try and start about on to see if it would help him, but no information was given to me on who I could have contact for help on caregiving.
Secretary for the Aging and Long-Term Services Department, Miles Copeland, says realizing many were in the same situation as Cathy Lindsay, they spent a year and a half developing a plan for caregivers.
Whether it's shopping, taking care of the groceries, managing medications, managing finances for their loved ones, doing complicated medical tasks, particularly when somebody is leaving a hospital, moving back into the community. They do an awful lot, and most of the time, we're not prepared for that. None of us goes to school to become a family caregiver, gets training to become a family caregiver.
Copeland said the main part of the plan involved making sure family caregivers were able to access the resources the state already had available.
It identified what the resources are that are available for family caregivers, identified what their needs are, and then came up with goals and strategies to try and help address those needs. We recognize that the number one thing that family caregivers here in New Mexico said that they wanted was more information about resources in their communities. So it's not enough simply to have a resource that's going to be helpful. Our family caregivers aren't making way to those resources.
Copeland says they also put an emphasis on planning before you get to the point where you need a caregiver.
We also need, from a statewide perspective, to do a better job with managing our legal, our financial, our medical planning, because all of that winds up relieving the caregiving burden that our loved ones face when it comes time to take care of us. So if we have made those decisions, it allows us to exercise our independence, make choices about how we want to live our life at the end.
If you want to access the resources in the Family Caregiver Plan, call the Aging and Long-Term Services Department at 1-800-432-2080. For KRWG, I'm Samantha Sonner.